This is an uplifting channeled message from the angels about what's coming on the horizon. I'm Ann Tucker, and I'm a trance channel. I channel from the angelic realm, which means I raise my awareness up as high as I can go, and then the messages start to flow, and I write them down and I share them here with you on YouTube. And today's message is really about the events that are coming in the future. And we've talked about this quite a bit on the channel. I have several other videos, and some of those events that are coming, they're earth changes that we're talking about, and some of those are really hard. But this message is about some of the good things that are on the other side. So they do touch on some of the stuff, the difficulties on the process of getting there, and then they go into sort of what we can expect or where we're heading. So it's a beautiful message about us and our evolution. So I hope you enjoy it. If you want to hear more messages like this one, please don't forget to like the video and then go down there and subscribe using the button just below the description box. I have more messages like this coming, and I would love for you to be able to join in. So please enjoy the message. All right. So I'm going to jump right in because we do have quite a bit to share. And this is the message from the angels this week. And like I said, specifically about what's coming. So they say, you say you have begun speaking as to how this unfolds, the great turning of our template for humanity. How will all resolve to remain here? What will it be like upon completion of this great upending and resolution of forces therein being sanctified ceremoniously to appeal all to this highest outcome and vibration? We are enthralled with the progress you are seeing. More of you are awakening than ever before. More have attuned their vibration upward, seeing and feeling our presence and their own upliftment. The upheaval, yes, it will be great. Hold on not to one another, but to ourselves. Find it in your heart, the portal for upliftment. This is the passage through. You wonder, will it have some semblance of order? We say it will not. Chaos ensues. It will be disruptive. But find in your hearts the will to help one another. Be guided by our own voices in your ear, but find your hearts willing to aid another. So I think this is the important thing that they've said many times about all this, is that the way for us to find our way through what's coming is to make sure that we are open and listening to their guidance, that they're going to guide us through it, but we need to be listening. And that means not being in fear. That means being calm and being open and raising our vibration as much as we can. So that's really the message they're giving us over and over and over again, in terms of finding our way through, that we're going to be following our intuition, that we're going to be listening to them. And they say, yes, help each other, but don't lean on each other in terms of looking for our guidance from each other. Look for our guidance from them, but help each other, if that makes sense. So they say you can be saved from turmoil. It will be localized, not global, in its after effect. There will be regions of causality where greater disturbance is viewed and cannot be avoided. We do not indicate with specificity, for you are brethren to those who may suffer some and do not have the capacity to carry this worry, not as you would believe yourself to be prepared for it. You cannot imagine the scale of the chaos, and we say, do not attempt it. Remain internal to your own experience. So here they are saying that when they say that the regions of causality, so in other words, there'll be places where, like the Earth rift that we talked about, which is they're talking about the Indian Ocean. There'll be areas where events happen, where the causes are for these circumstances. They say that when it happens, it'll have a global effect, but the after effects won't be as global. That there'll be the areas where it's causal are going to have longer lasting effects. And in fact, I'll share with you, I had, and this is part of what I need to share in another video because this is a long message, but I know there's going to be certain areas that are going to be like scorched earth, where it's really hard to grow things, where it's hard to have sustainable life. So we will have to have some people, some parts of the world will be needing to, and if that's, again, if I want to qualify, if all of this happens as it's that describing, that there'll be places where people maybe have to move from one place to another. In order to have a sustainable life. So they're saying they're not going to say specifically, even though they have told us that the Earth rift is the Indian Ocean, near Indonesia, India, Indian Ocean, somewhere in that zone. That I got several, what was that last year that I heard that. So, and they say that we think to be cautious with ourselves. Just saying that we sometimes think that we're more ready to hear this stuff than we really are. And so others say that don't try to imagine it, that we may think we're prepared for it, but don't underestimate the degree to which this kind of stuff can creep into the subconscious unless we really get into a place where we're really forward thinking and thinking about the beauty of where this is taking us. And that's a lot. They're going to talk about that here as well. So they go on to say, and they're saying, remain integral to your own experience. So stay present in your own world and look at what's happening around you and recognize that that is your life. Yes, remain internal to your own experience. Exactly. I think that's super important in terms of how we find our way through this. They say, have at your ready the supplies you will need: food and water, cleansing and purification. So that's water, cleansing, and purification. These are necessary items that will be had now rather easily, but not in times to come. And sorry, no, you thought it was integral. It is internal. I said it wrong. It was internal to your own experience. So you were right. I just said it wrong the second time. Sorry about that. So they're saying to have food and water, especially water, cleansing and purification. These are things that are had rather easily now, but not in times to come, that will pass forward. We say, have these and be ready. Do not fear that which comes, but be ready with these means of self-preservation. You can exist where you are. Contemplate your future kindly, without worry. Consider yourself above the fray. Imagine the world, and it will be. Chaos of the mind creates disorder. Center your heart and mind in celebration of Him we call God, in ourselves, and instill in your mind the presence of divine light. And please use your own word for God. That's my word, so please use your word there. That's what they use, my vocabulary, because they're speaking through me. You will be safely held. Do not fear the catastrophe. We say it will be, it will pass on and be over. Then there will rise a new way of being, a new central focus to humanity, which perceives itself as limited in focus and now arrives at the truth of its being, that it has encompassed only part of itself and will rise to meet more of its being, to become greater than before. So I love that. I love that. And the way they say it, they always say things so beautifully. But they're saying, do not fear the catastrophe, right? That it will happen, it's going to pass, and then it's going to be over. So let's not dwell on that. Let's dwell on what's coming afterwards, which is this idea that we have been limited in our focus, seeing ourselves as just a small part of the whole, and then we're going to start to move into embracing more of ourselves. It will be better than now. There are greater opportunities yet ahead in this world as it becomes. Chances to do and be as you have not explored yet on earth. Chances to have our help in reaffirming your place, to develop a society based on love and consideration for one another, to be in harmony and have place of mind over matter. Indeed, creation becomes more fertile. You are living within a greater envelope of potential outcomes and may enervate that which you wish to partake. You cannot foresee this now. It is not as it has been, for you are living within patterns expiring. Indeed, they are not going forward. They are behind you now, even as we speak, and the great unfolding begins. Ooh, I love that. It just gets chills when I read that. But yeah, they're saying that the patterns, the way that we've been thinking about things, the way we've been living, the constructs that we've had, they said they are already behind us. And I was even thinking about this as I'm talking, with my kids, and they're thinking about making their plans for the future, and what's going to matter in the future, and some of the ideas or the expectations we have about what's going to create a successful life. And I'm starting to think that some of those assumptions that we've always made, those may not apply anymore, right? The ways to get ahead, the grind it out, the work harder, it's been much more of a masculine world in terms of masculine energy. And I believe there's a shift now that we're moving into the divine feminine, and we're going to have to find a new way to run our lives that is more aligned with the divine feminine, where it's more emergent and more, the feeling of it is more of allowing that you're stepping into what comes, as opposed to the push and the grind and the make it happen, and making space for what develops, right? And to me, it sounds lovely. Like, I'm so ready for that. And that's a lot of how my life is right now. There has to be a lot of masculine mixed in, because I still have my to-do list. But I think this is what they're talking about, that when they say that that we're living within patterns expiring, that these old ways of being and thinking about how is it that you make a life happen, that they're not going to be going forward and they're going to be behind us now, even as we speak, and the great unfolding begins. Ooh, I love that. So they say, no more will dwell within this space, this separation you have experienced. No more will there be unkindness as it has happened. Consternation, indeed, it happens. Frustration, yes, of course. For you will be in creation-minded circumstances and have the challenge renewed to create a life and living beyond the pale of what came before, to recreate yourselves in his image, but further than before, with more access to detail regarding your full capacity, more understanding of what you are and have been, still within the constraints of this life, having been birthed into this fold, but having less consternation overall, more peace and harmony. So exciting. So they're saying we're not going to have the separation, that there's going to be less unkindness. So, and they've talked about this before, that we're going to be developing more empathy, that people are going to have that more of a telepathic understanding of each other. So that leads us to more peace in the world. There's going to be less war, all that kind of stuff, because of the fact that we will be able to understand each other's perspectives so much more easily. So I think that's what they're speaking to, and they're saying there's going to be less unkindness, less separation, that will be more likely to, we won't even be able to help it, that we will see from the other person's perspective and understand their views or understand their feelings, more likely, understand their feelings. And but they're saying, so that's all great, but it's not that we're not going to be without struggle, because that's how we grow. And they say the struggle, the consternation, the frustration comes in from this process of creation, that we're going to be in a creation-minded mode. They're going to be creating a whole society is what we're going to be creating, living in this new world. And that's what they go on to say. So they're saying that yes, we're stepping into a fuller version of who we are, and we're in creation mode. So here they go on to say, still, you must fight within the self to overcome those patterns behind. They do hold yourself back. Prevent this upliftment. They must be purged. Do your work. See yourselves. Understand your being. There is no more important topic than this one, for all depend upon this upliftment, and you are primary in the cause of it occurring. You must be freed of more energy, troubles forgotten, released. You can do this now with more facility. There is a help here for you now more than before. Forces converge to prevent the loss of this trajectory of existence. Light aligns for your benefit and upliftment. Ride it well. Feel the power of these times of energetic persuasion, for you are a pawn while being also the master. The creator and created at once together in your own mind and control of your readiness for this great embrace. We are holding the space, allowing your unfoldment, preventing obstruction from happening. Your role, you know it well in your heart. Okay, wow. So here they are saying that, and we know that our own healing is super important, but here they're saying that it's primary, that you, by being a person of light, by being a person who's raising your vibration, that you are critical to the fact of this whole upliftment happening at all, that we, by embodying more light, bringing more light, anchoring more light onto the planet, we are helping to bring it about. So they're saying there is no more important topic for us. And for anyone who is interested in awakening, anybody who's ready to clear themselves and raise their vibration, there is no more important topic, because they said this is helping to bring it about. And there's all this support for us to do it. And I love how they say there's loads of support there. There's all this light, ride it well, like take advantage of this and double down on your healing, and realize there is nothing else that you could be doing more important than your own healing right now. And I love how they say that you are a pawn while also being the master, the creator and created at once together in your own mind, and control your readiness for this great embrace. So by that, it's a beautiful way of saying it. But my understanding of that is they're saying that we are creating this new reality. We are pawns in the sense that this is happening all around us, right? And we're on the planet, this is occurring, but we are also creating the experience by our choices and by the fact that we are stepping into the light and we are bringing in more light. All these things that we're doing, actively participating in the creating of what comes next. So we are both the pawn and the creator, right? That we're the creator and the created. We are both. So they're saying that our role is super important. That we say that we know our role well in our heart, but they are here to help us. All right, going on. They say, we say this new time will be coming where you can dwell in more coherence. Life will be physical in this generation still. You remain in bodies as you have been, not as light just yet. You will become as a species more luminous with time. It will happen, but now you have tissue and bones and must remain as so. And this is speaking to, they have spoken before that in the future, we will become more and more light. And I think this is generations down the road as we evolve, but humanity is evolving to become more and more light. And so that may get to a point where we are more like our astral selves, that we are, that anyways, less and less dense in terms of our vibration. And that means less physical, but not in our generation. We're not going to get there in this generation. So you're still going to, be flesh and bone in this generation, in our lifetimes. They go on to say, energy upliftment is happening now as we speak. You are less dense than you were, and this is necessary for our accomplishment of this upheaval. You cannot ascertain the changes within very easily. Perhaps you notice yourselves more vibrant, less transfixed by becoming human. Your brightness elevates. You'll see the necessary modifications occurring slowly to the self. Color brightens. You may see this already in moments. Feelings of upliftment are more prevalent and become organic. You feel enlightened, joyous, vibrant, happy without provocation. So, okay. All right. So that's super cool message. And I mean, we're talking about the heavy stuff, but it's also super uplifting. So that is the one they gave me to share for today. I have another, there's just a lot that's come through. I have another message to share that I'll make it next week's Friday Live. And it goes into some of the very specific details about government and all the kind of stuff that is I think it's interesting to know. But so that is, I'll share that on the next one. And then some specific dreams that I've had as well that are part of that. So there's just, like I said, there's a lot. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. I think it was a beautiful message, totally beautiful message. And I will look forward to seeing you guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Like I said, I'm heading off to my retreat. So wish me well. And I'll see you guys next Friday Live. Goodbye.